Check, check, check. Peace and love, family. I'm actually waiting for my brother Bashir to come into the building. Let me make sure he doesn't have any technical difficulties. Hey, family, do you know like last night, the show last night? Okay. Yeah, he said he having a little bit technical difficulties, but that's all right. We'll wait for him. Family, did you realize that last night was one of them shows that was actually draining? Anybody? Did you feel some type of way? Press 7 if you felt some type of way. I mean, it was real draining, to witness man, it's just hard to talk about because a lot of people have covered the story, and it seems to be that it has just turned into a social media viral story, where people cheering for the downfall of Polite, rightfully so. But the thing is that Polite would not have been able to do these things without the platform. And I looked at some of the comments and people were like, oh, you wrong, GS, for blaming SaNeter. No. SaNeter was aware of what he was dealing with, and he continued to promote him and giving him access to people, and he would ultimately do the unbelievable. It's just what it is. So anybody that says that I'm wrong because I blame SaNeter also, I'm just going to have to be wrong according to you. But according to me, the moment that I found out, because listen, like everybody else, I'm not going to say like everybody else because some people are more intelligent than me, I would imagine. So kudos for that. But when I first heard Brother Polite, I thought that he had something to offer to our people. Now, when someone is first introduced to you, you introduced by sight and sound, the way they look and the way that they talk. And this lens of social media via your phone or your computer or whatever device that you use, it can lie to you. However, what you hear, you want to hope that someone is genuine when they're talking about advancement, when they're talking about achieving better today than what they had yesterday. You want to hope that that they are on the up and up. You know what I mean? And so when I first heard Polite, I thought he was on the up and up. I thought that he was very charismatic, which always is a red flag. These charismatic speakers, to me, always a red flag. But I thought he was on the up and up. But it didn't take me long. You know what I mean? It didn't take me long to figure it out. And I'm one that has a lot of patience. You know what I mean? I'll wait it out. I'll ride it out, to make sure that it is what it is. You know what I mean? I'll ride it out. But the point that I'm making here before I bring in Brother Bashir, Imam Bashir, the point that I'm making here is that the moment that I knew, without a doubt or contradiction, that this guy was a fraud, the first thing that I did was I reached out to him so he can return people money. And some of the money he did return, on my word. The second thing that I did was refuted and expose the fraud. And anybody want to see, they can go back and check it out. So you might see a video or a picture where me and Brother Polite was together, but at that time I never knew. But the moment that I knew, that was it. That was it for me. So when you got a person like SaNeter that has access to thousands and thousands of people, And he knows that this guy had indiscretion with underage girls. He say it out his own mouth. He knows that this guy was, see somebody say half naked in luxury cars is a red flag. This was before the half naked in luxury cars. The old polite didn't have the luxury cars. The old polite had the North African outfits on. The old polite had the sisters with the naturals. The old polite didn't have that. So it was a different polite, what I'm talking about. Polite began to evolve into who he wanted to be soon after he hit HOK. With that being said, Polite was able to do what he did because the platform allowed it. The platform allowed it. Like he would not be polite. Do anybody understand this point? He would not be Brother Polite without HOK and SaNeter. This is a fact. That doesn't mean that he wouldn't be influential. That doesn't.
I'm ready to get
let me
some stuff here together.
Brother Bashir, were you living in New York at the time? Are you from New York? Where exactly are you from?
I'm from Philadelphia, where I am now. But I've been moving all around this country.
Because my brother in DC be like, man, Bashir, he out this way now. But you
yeah. well, you know, one thing that I do is one, you know, our Ahmadiyya Muslim community, you know, we have masjids all over the place, so I'm always traveling. And then two, I do run businesses, legal businesses, legitimate business, and actually hire Black people, you know, with the proper paperwork and all that good stuff. And you know, a couple of offices and locations around the country. So, you know, all praise due to the Most High. So yeah, man, we keep it moving, and hopefully we'll keep growing. And yeah, that's get it.
With that being said, I got to send my brother Musa a link. I don't even know if you on tonight. You know, my brother Baron Musa, I got to send him a link real quick.
Yeah.
But with that being said, let's take it back a little bit, because I got into the House of Consciousness in the DVD era, where people would come to 125th and they would buy a bunch of DVDs, and the small conscious circles here in Baltimore would purchase them from someone who had went up, and now they at the flea market or whatever. And so ultimately I would go and get a bunch of DVDs and basically try to use it to raise money for the temple, for the Moorish Temple of America. I knew it was the next big thing coming. You know what I mean? I actually got arguing with my Grand Sheik, like, we can't be selling these DVDs, because, you know, SaNeter was actually bootlegging other people's product. And then he was selling them, but he was selling them in bulk, or you could buy them individual. But with that being said, my Grand Sheik, you can't sell this in here. But I seen it coming. And so I was like, you know, we need to do our own thing. You know, here in Baltimore, we need to do our own thing. But, you know, the elders here, they was more stuck into their ways. So I actually seen it coming. But anyway, with that being said, I watch it transition from uploading DVDs to actually standing out on 125th. And that standing out on 125th live stream upload, it was first uploads and then it was a live stream. You know what I mean? It was first DVD uploads, then it was recording on 125th, and then it was live right on 125th. So I've seen the whole transition, right? But you were there in the inception of the uploads of the conversations.
You know, yes, sir. And you know something, I need to backtrack that a little bit, because I was aware of SaNeter with the DVD days through Solar Mind. A lot of people should know Solar Mind, because Solar Mind actually introduced me to SaNeter, you know. So, you know, he was getting the DVDs, and at this time I was living in Philadelphia, right where I am now. And Solar was telling me about SaNeter and these DVDs, like you were saying. And, you know, so I thought it was, as well as he did, and I guess everybody thought that, you know, it's a platform to serve Black people, serve the so-called Black man and woman's interests, and try to develop a level of consciousness and understanding and awareness as to what's going on, you know. And so I was aware of the brother, and watching the DVDs before I actually did my first interview with the brother. So I had some experience with SaNeter and the DVDs, but I don't know if you want me to go in, but
no, not yet, because
okay.
I want people to understand. Like, people say they was back with the VCR tapes. I seen the VCR tapes,
Mhm.
but I really come in with the DVDs.
Mhm.
But what I'm trying to get, what I'm trying to establish here, I wanted to ask you before you flow. Do you remember when Polite first came on the scene? I think I can recall when he first came on the scene, and man, he was just rambling and mumbling, bubbling. He was just. Do you remember
Absolutely,
that?
absolutely, 110%.
Can you capture that moment for us?
Absolutely. I mean, the first time I met Polite, but we got to keep this in mind that I came to that circle with the intent of Black nationalism. With the intent of we can put the religious differences aside, and we can actually focus on some of the social ills that we are dealing with in our community. So I said, well, it doesn't take a whole lot to actually deal with the social ills. So meeting Polite, meeting Ali Muhammad, I mean, who else? Natural Tahuti. Who else am I missing? Baby
Inky?
Hebrew, Minister Inky, can't forget him. So that core group, Shaka Akmos, Uncle Ket, the Amin Ra Squad,
Yeah.
even Garfield, Garfield at the time. Not too active as in the live streaming and being on 125th from time to time, but he was more of a later, shoe-in. And yeah, so I thought that it was really an amazing, group of people, and I thought this guy was doing amazing things, But when I met Polite, it was, and I did my first, I guess it was a battle, but it was non-scripted. It was kind of thrown out there, and the people watching.
Bro, that was crazy though. I don't mean to cut your wisdom, but that was the unique thing about SaNeter TV in the beginning. We thought it would be an organic conversation, and it would automatically be coerced by SaNeter into a battle, debate, and a back and forth rah-rah. But the conversation would start off as seemed like an innocent dialogue. They got me like that twice.
Right. But which was okay, but which I'm gonna get into in a little bit. But the thing that I found out later, because when I first got there, my understanding was these are Black men that love each other and want to try to support each other and have a good thing going, And the first interview battle, I guess, I had with Polite, which was the first time I really met Polite, was speaking on Allah and Islam in general. And then there was one part where Polite spoke about Allah having a womb. This video is still up. Allah having a womb. And then I responded to that, but it's not the response that's online now. It's part of my response, but there was things edited out of it. But I had no understanding of things was getting edited because SaNeter TV was something that was on the side because my main Jamaat was where my focus was, that was the community where on Friday I led the Juma, and things like that, or led the Dawah or Tabligh efforts to go out in the streets and preach to the people. So I did a lot of traveling with that, and Jamal Ahmadiyya, all over the country doing that. And so I was really busy into that work, and I would go to SaNeter to, wherever the people were, I was going anyway. You know, so I wanted to link with them and get it going, but get back on track. So he did the video, and after some time, because I wasn't watching the videos, after some time, that first interview, I would say a few months after that interview, Solar Mind said, "Hey, I think they cut that." You know, so I went to actually watch the video, and I said he cut the response there. And when I went to talk to the brother about it, he told me that the camera had cut off, and I knew the cameras would cut off like the batteries, right? But come to find out, that's not what he was doing, which we're going to get into in a minute. But my first encounter with Polite was very disingenuous, but I didn't know at the time because, like you were saying earlier in the program, I was giving them the benefit of the doubt, right? Giving them the, you know, well, maybe the cameras did cut off, maybe this was an accident, maybe the brother, you know, really believes what he was saying, even though I'm trying to explain how it was a contradiction, you know, as to what he was saying. But lo and behold, as of the jail sentence, we can kind of see, which we're going to get into. We can kind of see that he maintained SaNeter and Polite maintained the same disposition, which was, we're going to try to distort the people's perception on what is really happening. And we're going to manipulate the people in such a degree that we're going to sell them the narrative that we want them to have because we have our own agenda. Right. And this was something that was unseen at the time. You know, we did see at the very beginning of this YouTube sitting on SaNeter couch, SaNeter studios, at the very beginning of that, it appeared to be innocent, you know? It really did appear to be innocent.
That's right.
Because we want people to know that, and I'm not going to say that SaNeter didn't put in some work, you know, but the more I started to think how, you know, because I had this perception of what SaNeter was doing, but I found out that this guy is really hustling the people. Because I thought these DVDs that the brother was selling was something that he was producing or getting, but really, just like you said, he was really literally stealing this from the elders and bootlegging it. And one time, Solar Mind, this was the first time, and I said, well, maybe because, you know, we know the Chinese was bootlegging movies like crazy, you know, so we was like, you know, maybe it's not so bad. But after we really thought about it, because Solar had called me. He was like, he had spoke to, I forget the professor. What's the brother that takes the trips to Egypt? Been doing a long time.
Kwasi.
Say it again.
I think his name Kwasi.
That's not ringing a bell, but we're gonna get his name. But anyway, he does these tours.
His name. What's his name? That's right, Ashra Kwasi.
Ashra Crazy. Yes, Ashra Crazy.
I butcher his name every time. Crip always got to write it in there for me. Thank you, Crip.
Thank you, brother. So Ashra Crazy, but we're gonna turn it up. It's gonna get the show gonna get real spicy in just a moment. But Ashra Crazy, and so I said, man, if Ashra Crazy literally goes to Egypt and puts in the time and put in the money and then record these things and then bring all of that back, and then someone doesn't make a deal to try to sell it, you know, like, listen, I'll buy 50 for, you know, whatever the wholesale price is. But no, we're going to rip off the elders and bootleg their materials and get rich off the elders back. So we didn't know that this was happening because we was the YouTube era, but we didn't know it was in the depth of those DVDs, because a majority of them was bootleg DVDs, you know. So he was already bootlegging consciousness. And so it's like, well, some people may say, well, that's not too bad. But at the core and root of what we're trying to do is to empower Black people. So we have to protect the knowledge. We have to protect the information that we are putting out to the people, and we have to make sure that the people get supported and they're actually putting the work, especially the elders and the teachers. And as we go on in this program, we will see that they really allowed the elders to actually Oh, you know who I got a name too that always slips through the cracks? King Simon. And I'm sorry,
Uh-oh.
King Simon is also a part of the destruction that we want to talk about, even though they all tried to deny it.
Okay.
But
Okay. That's okay, King Simon. He watching.
no, I'm glad King Simon
I'm
watching
sure he is.
because
I've been
because
trying to get you for years, King Simon. No, I'm just playing.
yeah. No, but King Simon also, and we're gonna get into that later too. Also, will act like an innocent person. I don't know what's happening. I'm just a promoter. I'm just giving up. You know, I just set up the shows. They do what they want to do. It's a lie. All of the madness is orchestrated. So I'm kind of jumping all over the place.
No, you
But
good. You good. You good. I think we very well can follow this scenario as we get into the systematic process of this grift by
yeah,
this individual and as a collective. But that's good. I'm glad you mentioned King Simon because King Simon has a way of calling me anytime that I call him out or I make a wisecrack. I kind of make a wisecrack because obviously I wasn't there. And so I'm just looking things that don't seem right and I call it out. You know, by the time that I come, it's in full swing. You know what I mean? I've never been a
right.
part of House of Consciousness, but by the time I come to speak on the behalf of the Moors, it's in full swing. I mean, I'm talking about filling up auditoriums. I'm talking about 20 grand sold tickets and live stream. It's flowing, flowing, flowing. But just to rewind just a little bit, you were on the couch with Brother Polite at one time, and I showed
A
the
few
picture
times.
last night. The first time, I think it was the first time I showed the picture. The first time you was on the couch with him, maybe I don't know. Maybe I'll pull up the picture in a little bit. But
The one when I had the black and checkered shirt, and he was talking about religion. That was probably like the third or fourth time.
okay, now, how did you perceive HOK at that point when it went from the street to the couch, and now it's coming off like a Jenny Jones type of thing. I mean, it's not over the top yet, but you can see where it's going. What was that moment like?
It started to become theatrical then. That's
a good word.
Literally, it started to become like the WWE to such a degree where SaNeter came to me one time and he said, listen, and let me tell y'all, I just want to say this. Let me make this disclaimer. I understand what hearsay is. I understand what a lie is. I understand what manipulation is. But I also understand what truth is. And so that's what I'm doing here tonight, because we still are going to stand for African-American people, black people, whatever you want to say, Moorish people, whatever the category of melanated people. We were there for them in the past, we're there for them in the present, and we're going to be there for them in the future. So we're here to speak the truth, not to, try to destroy other black men. But what's have to happen today is that the black devil must be destroyed and pushed out. And that's the reality that we're going to come to, is that the manipulation of the knowledge and the information just became theatrical, like WWE. It was not real. So when we got to the couch, even more things was edited. More things. I mean, you'll be on a live stream, and then after the live stream, it's a whole edited video, of what happened. And I remember one time, this was like the second time I went with Polite. We're gonna get back to the couch, but SaNeter called me and he said, "Listen, we're gonna be in Brooklyn. Come out here with Brooklyn, and we're gonna do an interview with Polite." And it's like my second time. So of course, I said, you know what? I'll do it. What's gonna be the topic? He says, well, this time you can pick the topics. So I said, well, I want to challenge Polite on money is my religion, because he was saying money was his religion and the black woman was God. So I said, well, these 2 points are very destructive to our people. So of course I want to counter that with the information that I have, because that is going to lead our people further to death and destruction, further to destabilize homes, further to being inferior minded. And I'll get into those things for a moment, because I was just like, how could the dollar, and these are the people that were saying, you know, forget the religion, forget they enslaved us, they did all of these things. But then on the flip side, they made the dollar the God. And then on the flip side of making the dollar the God, wait, the fiat currency dollar, I'm not saying the dollar doesn't have power, because of course it does, but we're conscious, right? We're aware of some things. So we know that this is fiat currency. So gold is not the God, even though none of it should be, but the paper money became the God. So I said, man, this is very interesting. Figuring that we're already hustling, selling dope, doing whatever we have to do to get the dollar. Our women are already stripping in the club, you know, and the little things to actually get that same dollar. And so our people already see that dollar as something more than it actually is, a God, an idol. You know what I'm saying? So I said, this is not a good thing. And then making the black woman God was a very dangerous thing. And I went there to Brooklyn, and God be my witness. I did this debate, and I was so prepared on the street. And I'll make this be known. Every time Polite and I was on the street, Polite was destroyed. This is not my own confidence or, you know, ego. This is a fact. And I got to come back to Harker with some of the stuff, but I'm in Philly because I'm on some business, and I had a funeral with my aunt that passed away. So that's why I'm in the situation I am, you know, now. But when I get to my bat cave with the computer that have these things, I would like to come back and show them. So this thing in Brooklyn, we did it. I was prepared, and Polite was just totally shut down because you can't win. He couldn't win that conversation. So when the video went up, SaNeter entitled it "Polite like goes in on Imam Bashir," and I said, okay, let me watch this video. And by Allah, subhanallah, we were out there for about 2.5 hours, about 2 hours of film. The video was probably like an hour or some change. Brother Bashir had literally about 2 minutes on that entire video of me having that debate. I said, oh my God. Not only did he cut my entire part out on one of those videos, like my entire thing. It was sound like a Brother Bashir here, you know, we're gonna have these conversations, talk, and then it was like, that was it. The rest was polite. Like, hold up, what did Brother Bashir say to any of that? Like, nothing. And I never seen him cut it like that. I was like, whoa, bro, you just totally cut everything I had out. But nevertheless, those are the type of things we're going to talk about, but we're going to talk about why, you know, they actually did that. And when you let me just fully go, I'll answer your questions, but I guess I'm ready to just jump out the cage because I want to prove something.
I have one more question.
Mm.
Actually, two. Were you able to see the show last night?
That show, brother, first of all, you are the Grand Sheik in the building. You my Grand Sheik, brother. You have proven, no, brother, you have proven, you know, that information can be fun. Information should be fun, and the production behind what you do is amazing, bro. I mean, yesterday I just was hyped.
Coming from you, I'm humble, bro, because you a day one of HOK, and yeah. that humbles me, and it means a lot to me, and definitely I appreciate it.
Yeah, but that production though last night, brother, it was powerful. The information was right on. It looked nice. I mean, everything but the cues was hitting. I mean, brother, you. I would have to say you just turning into the king of consciousness. I would have to say that that crown gonna have to be passed over. you know, for real. Because I think that you took the platform to where SaNeter should have had the platform. You know, the direction and that the integrity behind it. You know, so that right there, brother, is I mean, hats off, man, for real. May Allah bless you for that, for real.
I
For real.
appreciate that. What the question that comes with that, brother, I definitely am humbled and I definitely appreciate that, especially coming from you because you've seen the changes, you have seen the growth of myself. You've seen the growth of what's supposed to be the conscious community, what it could have been, what it should have been, what it ultimately could be. How did you feel about hearing the sister give her impact statement? It really bothered me. It touched me. It actually was emotional for me to even put that clip together. How did it make you feel knowing that you was in the company of Brother Polite? That's the first question. And the second question, could you see that sort of a Polite back in the day?
Yes, absolutely. As far as the sister, I mean, just like everyone else, hearing the story is just, you know, and hearing her passion on delivering, you know, her impact statement. I mean, it impact statement. It impacts you. You know, you're going to feel that. So I think I feel like everybody else that was impacted with that, you know, because it was the thing she said was true. However, I want to be sensitive, and I'm trying to be sensitive. And this is not just to her, but the wives are polite, which I want to talk about. You know, and I don't want to name them.
Yeah, we're going to get into all of that. The second part of that question, I'll let you roll. Did you see? Now, I remember when they started getting looser in their dress. I seen it. You know what I mean? In fact, Aminette, she never was totally garbed as he would portray himself in Brooklyn before the SaNeter. If you go look at the old video, she had this something trying to be revealing even then. But I don't know if that would be enough. But did you sense when so me meeting Polite, I didn't see that Polite. I seen a crook, I seen a scammer, I seen a charismatic smooth talker, but I don't think I seen that Polite. And
this is what I was going to. I'm sorry.
And I was going to say, and that's what make it so dangerous in our community, because they are supposed to fool us. That's the only way they can get away with what they get away with. They have to be able to fool us. You know what I'm saying? And you can flow from here.
You know, and I want you to still kind of interject and help me flow with it if you want to.
But I'm just trying to say, did you see that Polite? You know, it was a vicious attack. The mother said that her daughter came back bruised. The mother said that the DNA should not be on her daughter. The mother said it seemed like it was some sort of a tussle. The mother said that she had drugs in her system that no human should ingest. The mother said that there was alcohol in her system. So we got bruises, we got alcohol, we got all of these things that's consistent with brutal taking of a child's innocence. Could you see that Polite?
Absolutely.
Wow.
And I'm going to absolutely.
The floor is yours, brother. The floor is yours, brother. Let's go.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm going to say this, and then I'm going to probably touch on it in a little bit with the sister that made the impact statement, which no one should do such horrific things to anyone, child, adult. It just shouldn't happen. However, for the blame to be placed totally on Polite, I would have to say there's no way you didn't see that. There's no way that you didn't see that there's a probability that something could go very wrong because the entire circle was over-sexualized. And what I mean the entire circle was over-sexualized, this is not what I'm just trying to say or discredit or to
But when you're talking about the child part too, because I can see the over sexualized. I remember when I went up to 125th the second time, I could see them lusting at European women walking down 125th. Oh,
Yeah, but
she got some. I could see like the extreme niggerdom, if you
yeah,
will.
I mean, you could see that, but I seen
Yeah, but you was
Polite
in the mix.
systematically. Listen, I seen Polite systematically pan the camera up his wives at the top, wives. And I mean, we're out there live. We're brothers. We're out there. You know, brothers, me, Sola, maybe Ali Muhammad, whoever, on 125th Street in New York City. And he would systematically put the camera and pan up, and that will go live. That will go on a video on all his wives in the shape. But he also did that with his daughters. And I had a conversation with Polite. I said, listen, why would you expose your wives to the world? One of his response was, he's trying to fight homosexuality. This was literally what this fool was telling me. And I said, we probably need to rethink that. But that seems like a lie. The lie detector says that's a lie. Then, even with his little, the ones that we thought was his daughter, because I didn't know. Ones that we thought was his daughter, then it was like, no, that's not his daughter, there's his stepdaughters. When both of them was there. I'm not going to name them neither. But when both of those, not his biological daughters, but when both of those sisters reneged, I had to do that. So y'all know what I'm talking about. And her sister,
call it what it is. Call it what it is.
Right. And her sister, they were, I assumed that they was his daughters at first. And then I seen that they was dressing just like the adults. And not only were they dressing just like the adults, the cameras was on them. Their own cameras were on them to promote the Black Woman's Guide and expose the beauty. So the sister that made the impact statement, and around a person that's conscious and very smart, very intelligent, i.e. this the guy Polite, right? Which he was really an idiot savant. That's really what Polite is, an idiot savant. So they can look that up and find out what that means. But the sister that made the impact statement, I'm like, this is why we have to really stop fighting against, yes, her. Well, she was younger, way younger than this. In this picture, she's probably maybe 17, maybe 18. I'm talking about when they was like 11, 10, 11 years old. You know, those ages. I watched those little girls. We spoke to those little girls, my family, my wife, my children. Hung out with them when we did lectures, when we did debates. You know, our families would be together to such a degree where, I'm just going to throw this in. I want to get back on the sister with the impact statement just for a moment. There's no way you go into that circle. Look at that. Yeah, this is how they was at first, and it started to transition. But as you can see, she got her little shoulder out, and then the other little shoulder out. This started so innocently like that. But I don't know what year this was, but this is very early. It probably was 2010, 2011. But around 2012, 2013, the clothes started coming off on all of them. The clothes started coming off. And then, you know, as a Muslim, keep this in mind. We don't really drink, you know. Alcohol is forbidden for us, right? But, you know, they'll have their alcohol, and then it's like people drink, no problem, people drink. But I said, wait, you have all these women. Now the clothes are coming off. Now they are walking with this sexualized disposition and attitude. You know, they walking with heels on, quickly clacking down 125th Street. Brothers' heads is turning, you know. And this was the attention that was systematically given, that was given this attention and told, look, this is how we're going to do. And they enjoyed it and they loved it. And so with the sister, I'm like, I know, and I didn't get a chance to meet her. I didn't, because she's relatively new. But however, I know Polite's family. I know his disposition. I know how they move. And I know for a fact that he was so proud to tell me, like, listen, we do have sex with each other, all of us. My wives have sex with them. And then he brought a guy. When I knew something was wrong, he brought this sexual guru and had a lecture about a guy that can make women have orgasms without touching them. And this was a very big thing amongst the Politeites, you know.
And I got it in the archives.
Yeah. So he was pushing it, but you should have heard him talking that in the street. You know, like, yeah, this is what we could do to women. This is how we, without touching them. And so it just started more sexual. But what I understood was sexual deviancy is bound to happen. We can see that in America already. So the more the society or the women and the men are sexualized, that is what opens the door to child molestation, rape, pedophilia, etc. Those are the things that really open the door to that. This is statistically true, as well as religiously true. You know, so the thing with the sister with the impact statement is all of them to a degree are very reckless. All of them to a degree are very reckless as it pertains to truly understanding how to protect a family and how to keep predators off your women and your children, period. And you don't do that by exposing them to the world. You don't do that by letting 13-year-old girls, 14-year-old girls dress like a 25-year-old woman that's going to a club when that 25-year-old shouldn't even go. You know, so it's like we have to become conscious. How about we do that? Because this person is saying, don't follow, you know, those Moorish men that cover themselves. Don't follow that way of, you know, having integrity on the way you dress. The Israelite women, for example, don't follow the example of maybe the Muslim women or the Ahmadi women that cover themselves and veil themselves. Don't follow that way. Let's go with the way of exposing nakedness, because we did that in Africa. And when I heard them say that, I said, what kind of fools are we dealing with? First of all, we are in the United States of America. And in this part of the town, your women and children are not safe. They're not safe. And particularly when it comes to sexual transgressions, you know? And so, but check this out, because I got some notes so I don't get lost. But then on top of all of that, we found out that he was not only a student, but a student. I don't think he was a literal, well, he was at Tamaray, so he was a part of that movement. But he really was trying to embody the essence of Dr. York. But then I said to myself, well, who is this man, Dr. York? And doing some more research, and I'm like, wait a second. This man was convicted for the same sexual deviancy that we speak about or speak against. And this person is following them. Not only is he following him, he bore witness on video, which I knew then, bore witness on video that if in fact he thought Dr. York done molested 1,000 children, I think that's what he said.
That's what he said.
He still will respect him, love him, and honor him, because that's who saved him. That's who saved him. So I said, wait a second. Here's a guy that says the black woman is God, but he will throw the seeds that come from their wombs under the bus for one black man. So I was like, it seemed like that man is your God and not these women. Because If it was, you would do something to protect them, I would suppose. So, you know, so all of those things added up. It was, okay, you came in, it was African dress, you look like a Muslim, you know what I'm saying? Got a kufi on, got a, you know, jilbab on, and just a dashiki, maybe something like this, you know? And then, boom, it turns to Hollywood. Clothes come off, then supporting the Dr. York position. SaNeter also knew this because he recorded this, filmed this, that this man is saying he would still love, follow, honor, respect as he did. The man, yeah, he would dress like that. The man, but that was before SaNeter TV. That was before SaNeter TV. But yes, sir.
Hey, Brother Bashir, you know I got the archives deep.
Your ammunition is long, brother. I'll be scared of if anything come up like, man, don't let this guy get it. he gonna go all the way. But yeah, so nevertheless, SaNeter knew and understood Polite's position. He knew and understood what was taking place. He knew and understood that this man wants to be Dr. York, to the extent that he called him Little Dr. York. And during these times, this is when I first started hearing, like, hold on, what's going on? Because I didn't know. You know, I thought we was on Black Power and then we doing this. And now all of a sudden things are creeping in. What they doing in the dark is coming to the light. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, this stuff coming to the light that is going to destroy our communities. And we cannot allow them to destroy the community. So I tried to battle in a way, in a debate format, but every time we did it, he would cut the videos. He would manipulate that. The same thing he tried to do in court to get the lawyers to get that impact statement not to be heard, get people out of the courtroom. That was their MO whole time. That's exactly what they did whole time. This is nothing new. That was the play, and I knew that was the play. I was like, he gonna try to keep this out of the public, out of YouTube, and SaNeter is going to try to assist that. Period. I knew that when the case started. I said, SaNeter, that wicked damn devil, SaNeter, because he wicked. I mean, I never seen a black man personally so wicked, to where you would rather deter the people that is watching, the viewership that is watching, to allegedly come and educate themselves, come to get knowledge that can edify themselves. But really, you want to have them like a Judas goat. So when they have a goat slaughtering, they train one goat to actually lead the sheep to slaughter. It's called the Judas goat. It's a real thing. So this goat is trained to walk through the pen and turn right when the rest of them go left to get their heads chopped off. So this is exactly what, unfortunately, SaNeter and Polite were doing to manipulate the people. So the people really should be more pissed, because we could have stopped or prevented the sister, daughter that just happened 2 years ago. We probably could have prevented that if we would have stood on real principles years ago before that happened. That's just a fact. When we all were saying, you even had ISUPK, Cesaria, you had people like the religious people were saying, why would you allow them to dress like this? This is how the prostitutes dress in our community. This is how loose women dress in our community. Shouldn't we represent something different? But no, they were already on that loose frequency way before they got to SaNeter TV. Because once you hear the stories of Brooklyn and what was happening in Brooklyn before SaNeter TV, if you know those stories and that history, you will see that their whole MO was, we got to find a game plan to get out the projects. Because they was in the projects, according to Polite, him and his wives. And the plan was, by any means necessary, we're going to get out of these projects. So why is this important? I just want to go here. Let's go here real quick.
Right.
Because we will say things like this. That's true in America, right? We will say things like this. That's true in America. That's factual. Say, listen, all right. So here's some statistics, right? So child abuse, right? They say that 1 in 3 girls are sexually abused before the age of 18. 1 of 3, right? So we know these statistics. We didn't talk about statistics a long time at the House of Consciousness, and what's happening in the community, et cetera, et cetera. Now check this. 1 in 5 boys are sexually abused before the age of 18. Rape, 1 in 6 American women, and 1 in 33 American men are raped. And then in 2019, over 652,676 women were raped. Over 40% of the women in the U.S. have encountered sexual violence. Nearly 80% of females and sexual assault victims experienced their first assault before the age of 25. Around 20% of American males have been the victim of sexual violence. A quarter of male victims of sexual assaults were under the age of 10. Less than 20% of rapes are reported. Nearly 20% sexual assaults were reported in the military last year. Just gonna stop that real quick. Wait, no, let's do this last one. Approximately 70 women commit suicide every day in the U.S. following an act of sexual violence. Now, these statistics are things that we will bring up, as to explain why you wouldn't want to do such a thing. But nevertheless, they tried to and did stop the information from coming to the people, which was a bigger problem because all of that was countered. But Polite and SaNeter systematically said, we're going to stop the information from getting out to the people because we're getting this money. This is the way we want the people to go. And that's just that. And so they will always speak about Moorish science, Islam, Christianity, Israelites, etc. Anything dealing with the Most High, dealing with the concept of religion, they will try to destroy that. And I said, well, why would you try, literally said, why would you try to destroy something that you know have much benefit, even if you think that it has a lot of negative connotations? But we do know that a lot of the things that are happening in our society inside these books, these guidance, either one you pick, even the Circle 7, gives. Go ahead, bro.
I was going to say, what stood out to me about the so SaNeter have reached out to me quite a few times when I put my big mouth into the conversation. Like I said, I pretty much just wanted to defend the integrity of the Moorish Science Temple of America as I've come to know it, and the teachers of the Prophet Noble Drew Ali as I come to know it, not as we see it so crazily on the internet. And so quite a few times SaNeter reached out to me to debate Polite, and one of my first thing was like, you can't pay me nothing. You know what I mean? We can go half on a venue, but you're not paying me nothing. That's number one. Second of all, one of the things that always was a brick wall that he wanted to debate me about something about Moorish science. But when I would say, well, what is your core belief? He didn't have one. He would say that he follows Doc, but I knew Nuwaubians. I knew transitions of Dr. York's movement. And so he would be kind of all over the place. Now, he knew some key stuff. You know what I mean? Like, he got a photographic memory. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he knew a lot of key stuff that that Dr. York taught in the box, because he was in a box, that he was in, Polite. However, when I tried to get into, okay, what is your core belief? He really couldn't explain it. So I said, so you're going to interrogate me. And I said it live a few times. So you just want to interrogate me. But now I can't interrogate you because you saying that you don't believe this part, but you believe this part, and you don't believe this part, but you believe this part. So and then I would say to SaNeter, this is how I knew it was crazy. What do you believe? I believe in Black power. What does that mean? I couldn't really get anything out any of them. And so to your point, now it makes so much sense to me why they would move in the direction of trying to disqualify everything that was on the ground that's in our community that would be religion to them, because no one could go back and challenge what they would say. We were all, when you go back and look at the videos, everybody was defending their position, but there was no way to even counter and get them to defend their position. And that that's a clear sign of COINTEL. That's a clear sign of being an operative of changing the narrative. Like you say, they stopped teaching. And then it came to the point where everybody was defending. If you were a Muslim, you was there to defend it against polite, for the most part. If you was a Hebrew, you had to defend it against polite. If you were more, you had to defend it against polite. And if you starting to bust them upside the head, now you're going to defend it against polite and SaNeter.
Right.
But yeah, I thought that was very interesting that you said that, because it seemed like everybody had to be on the hot seat as opposed to what a real debate is about. A real debate is about, I'm going to challenge your belief, you can challenge my belief, and we'll meet on Center Street and see what makes sense. But that wasn't the case. That wasn't
exactly. Exactly. And I'm glad that you...
Go ahead, brother. Go ahead. No, I want that thought right there. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I wanted that thought right there. You said, I'm glad that I got the question. I can hold it.
Yeah, I'm glad that you brought it up. Like their positions, like you couldn't pin them to like, where do you really believe and stand on?
Right.
I thought that at first, and I was like, what are they standing on? But like you said, I had said to nothing. I said, these guys aren't standing on nothing. But that was incorrect too. I said, these guys told us, but we missed it. Money was the guide.
There you go.
That was really the thing, cloaked under Black consciousness, cloaked under that. And I was offered contracts. That was inside that. I did an interview. I forget what it was. It was an interview. And he comes to me, he like, yeah, Bashir. His wife too.
Who?
He said, Bashir.
Hold on. Who came to you? SaNeter or polite?
SaNeter.
Not Miss Cynthia.
No shade at Cynthia.
But you know, I love Miss Cynthia. I always say I like it.
But Cynthia tried to get me that contract. Cynthia tried to get me that contract. Yes, she did. So SaNeter, after we did the interview, SaNeter came and he said, listen, I want you to sign a contract. And it was like some rights over my, the stuff I do. And I can't remember the terms, but the terms were so stupid. That's why I can't remember it, because it was so long ago. And I was like, bro, you can take that contract and shove it, because one, I'm a Muslim. We do this for free, for one. We do this for free, for one. For two, for you to try to box me in a very one-sided like deal, I was like, ain't no way I'm doing that.
He's trying to get you to 360.
Yeah, this is his wife. His wife came and said, Brother Bashir, you should take the contract and just sign it, brother.
No, Miss Cynthia.
and I was like, Sister Cynthia, love you, sis, for the sake of Allah, but No, I'm not signing that contract. And we had never spoke about it after that. And then it was, we had to wear, the Israelites have their Power Ranger thing going on. The Moors have their fans thing going on. Bashir, you're a Muslim, but you don't be wearing like the throws and stuff like that, you know? So why don't you wear that more often? And then I said, hold up, bro.
So Bashir, what you're describing here is characters for a production.
Characters for a production. It became characters. It was come to the streets, let's battle, let's talk, get information, which was good. That was good. Unless you were going to get polite, then you won't cut it all up. But nevertheless, it was pretty good doing that, but that lasted about 2.5 seconds. And then the theatrics started to come. The theatrics started to come, and it was, if you're not wearing this, or, and then literally to the point where it was, Brother Bashir, we want you, it was positions they would want me to take that was counter my position. I was like, how you gonna want me to take a position that's counter my position? And then, you know, it was the trying to buy me, like real talk. Like, but I was like, hey, we'll give you, I forget how much. He was like, we'll change your name to Nasu something, something, something. And it's on video. It's actually on video, part of it. I gotta find it. It's on video of him saying that. You know, and you know, you could be a part of our, you know, our thing, you know, and of course he gave some of why. And then I told the brother, I said, brother, I will never do that because I know that you guys are going down. I don't know where it's going to go, but I know your direction is going to go down because we already see it in America. Our people don't need to see your wives naked because we on 125th Street. All the women are naked. All the men are already doing that. So what? We need to see you with cars? We already see the cars. In fact, if you are on the lower end of things in the hood, the drug dealers got the good cars. And we're trying to, you know, attach to that. So BET showing us all of the naked women, the cars, the money, all of that. We already see that. You know what I'm saying? And then how people are so silly because at first it was, you know, UCC. And it was sovereign this, you could get this paperwork, you can do this, and Polite was selling them. And then I'm on a video saying it too. I'm gonna find it. Well, I was like, well, if y'all want something to buy like that, I'll get it cheaper. We'll give it to you for $19.99 instead of $2,000.
Brother Bashir, that's what brought me out of the temple onto the internet. Because a lot of that stuff they was associating with Moorish. And that was the main reason, because I was watching that. I was like, nah, this ain't it. This has nothing to do with Moorish science, nothing. And Polite not even being a member of any particular Moorish group, but even they would associate what he was doing to be associated with Moorish. And little do people know, even to this day, it's still hard for people to understand that that has nothing whatsoever to do with Moorish science, because that's how deeply ingrained it's been put into people's mind that it has something to do with Moorish science. Has nothing whatsoever to do with it. And when Polite was doing that, I was like, I thought he was, at that time, I was like, well, maybe he been exposed to something wrong, you know. But the guy seems to be brilliant, and he may be just exposed to something wrong. But, you know, as time would show that he went from hustle to hustle.
Yeah, I thought that too, until the fool was saying, nah, if you buy this, this UCC or this, no, you get that. You are free.
Yeah, Ali Muhammad was doing it too. That's right.
Ali, yeah. Ali Muhammad, oh yeah. And I was chopping him up about that. Even Ali Muhammad, he was another one, but I think he jumped off it quick, because I did a whole thing with him because he tried to go to Canada some years back when we all was together. He tried to go to Canada, and then I don't know which one of them called me and was like, "Hey, Ali Muhammad can't get into Canada because he don't have a passport. He tried to use a paper."
I remember that.
And he had a debate with some Moors
he had a
over
debate.
there.
That's right. I remember that. He had a debate with the Canaan land Moors.
Yes,
he couldn't get
the Canaan land Moors.
Yep,
yes.
I remember.
He couldn't get across the border. So I said, but he came home, Ali Muhammad. I'm not going to beat him up too much because even though he tried his little flim-flam scams for a second, I think he was intelligent to know that don't go down this path. And he stopped. Like, I'm not going to, really go down that path. But that's how I feel. But nonetheless, talking about these guys has got me all over the place. So let me get
recentered. It's good, bro, because I think a lot of people, one thing that I remember, one thing that I bear in mind about doing social media, you have a lot of people that are joining now, and you got half that can remember, and then you got half that almost was duped. You got another group that have been duped, and then you have another group like, wow, this is interesting. So, like people say, why do I keep doing all these videos about someone, because I understand that social media, that new people are tuning in all the time. So this is new information. To me, you've been helping me to reminisce, like, hey, I remember dude got stopped at the border. He couldn't get to the border with this fake paperwork. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, this is all good. But I want to rewind real quick, brother. Now, I want to ask you something about Aminette. So when I met Aminette here in Baltimore, her and Polite, they did a lecture here in Baltimore, and it seems to me that Aminette was like the manager. Like, somebody asked me, the reason why I'm bringing this question to the table, somebody asked me and say, what do you think about Aminette? You think he played her too? And I said, no, bro. I said, she appears to be the brains of the operation, the manager of the operation, and he seems to be the face of the operation, whatever that operation would be at any given day. What is your take on Aminette? When I seen her, she always was very observant. She paid attention to every book that was sold. He would line his books up. Whenever he do a lecture, he'd come with his duffel bags or his boxes. He would line his books up. But she would pay attention to everything. She wouldn't say much. And she'll smile. And as he's working the crowd, she would be right there, but she would be observed. I mean, she had a very meticulous observation. But what was your take on her?
My take, I didn't see that per se. What I seen was a helpmate, and I think she was following Polite, and there was a helpmate, and it was like, look, we're going to make this happen. Whatever we got to do. I think that was the attitude, because I did have a little bit of admiration for how they did move at one point, because they would travel. They would travel and go do their little lectures or whatever, and the family was there, and they didn't have really good cars at the time. They had some like a Suburban, and there was a piece of, hopefully it will make it. It didn't make it a few times, broke down, and so I seen them. I think just working together and had a goal and a mission, the entire unit, which was a positive thing I think of the whole situation. How you move collectively with your family. But this is what I'm saying. But they all was on the same mindset, the same accord, because and I don't want to beat a dead horse, but I think it's very important, because it was a time. And I'm not saying you sisters, you have to do this, or brothers, you have to get your wives to do this. But my wife was wearing niqab at the time, and I didn't make her wear niqab. She just wanted to wear niqab. She went through her phases of what she wanted to wear as a Muslim woman. And, it was so, we were so disgusted with how they were filming, you know, the wives we looked at them as little girls, like you got them little girls in spandex tight up, you know. And so my wife said, listen, because me and Polite was supposed to set up this debate. And we're talking about this debate, and I told the Polite, I want to add our wives to the debate. My wife want to debate if this her way of dressing or her way of dressing, which way is more will produce a better woman in a better society. And I said, man, I would love to see some women, you know, have that discussion, and I think it would be a really good debate. And SaNeter, he thought it'd be really good. Polite, he thought it'd be really good. And then they went somewhere, they had a conversation, and then we got a call that, no, we don't want to do that part of the debate, you know. And I was like, well, why wouldn't we do that part when that is something that, you know, is really applicable, really needs to be paid attention to in our community, you know. And so they didn't want any real stuff to come out. Even when you look at the UPK and Polite debate, I really can't remember what they was debating, but it was nothing that really pertained to raising Black people or our family.
I think the highlight of the debate was Cap saying he's parading his wife around like a whore. That's the only part I remember.
That was the highlight of the debate.
That's the
that really was the highlight of the debate.
Yeah, and I don't even know what the topic was either. To be honest, I don't know.
Right, because this is what we were saying. We were saying we already have that. You know what I'm saying? We already have what we know is not successful. We already seen that goes nowhere. So yeah, man. So and as time went on, we did, you know, SaNeter TV, it did reach, you know, Black people, you know. And at the time, and then it was a time, I guess around 2014, 15, a little before that, celebrities started to get into the mix. And not just with Polite, with all of us. You know, there was a group of celebrities that liked me, Ali Muhammad, you know, so we all got celebrity friends through that funnel, you know, and by watching SaNeter TV. But the ones that I am still friends with today, I never spoke about or pushed that because those are my friends. It's not to manipulate or try to, you know, use the clout to bring some so-called success. Now, I don't mind if that does happen, but we are here trying to raise consciousness. You know what I'm saying? So my position was, I'm not trying to be the celebrity, because that world is really, really dangerous anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like that famous celebrity stuff right there, that stuff is hell. They not successful in nothing. Their marriages.
Celebrity. What, if any, maybe you know, I don't know. I've always wondered this, and I gotta ask, what was the word that happened with Ron Artest? Because one of the first celebrities that you would see within the conscious circle was Polite rocking with Ron Artest. And they appeared to be tight. They both appeared to be real cool. And then all of a sudden, no more Ron Artest.
And you know what?
I've always wondered, did Polite swindle him? Because he just disappeared. He was talking about building communities with New Covenant. He was a member of New Covenant. The video's still out there. And then he just disappeared.
Yeah, and people, because I know there are new people, you know, so you should go back and do some research on this stuff that we're talking. Yeah. And a lot of you should refresh your memory of what's being said here today. Because the entire time he was, SaNeter and Polite were the wizard behind the curtain. And he thought that, oh my God, these words, and people were saying it. Everybody was saying it. Oh, he's using words, and these 5-syllable words. But sometimes, a lot of times, he's putting them in the wrong place. Like only a few of us understood that. You know what I'm saying? Like he's using some of these words incorrectly, but he is intelligent. Don't get that twisted. The boy can remember, and he has some information. He's an idiot savant because the information that he's pushing is leading to nowhere but to so-called Rolls Royce Diaries.
Right.
That's it.
And
that's all it was leading to.
When you're talking about Meta World Peace, Ron Artest, they actually had a live argument, Polite and SaNeter, because Polite would not speak on SaNeter's behalf for Ron Artest to help him get out of all things a SaNeter TV news, man. I got the video. They was beefing on. And he was mad at Polite because he wouldn't give him the plug.
Yeah, but they deserve that. Everything that happened with the SaNeter and the Polite, it's deserved, because what we have to understand here tonight is that these are black devils, man. That gave the impression that they're really for black people, but they're not. And they're still going to have a group, because the hell is filled with the devils.
Yeah.
So Satan has followers. We ain't, don't be like, oh, he's getting spooky. I'm just talking. You can get the point.
The point is, and I get your point very clearly, and I say this, and I say it in a different way, that with social media grabbing the attention of so many millions, there is always going to be a handful of followers that's just not going to let go. And there's going to be a handful of newcomers that may be familiar with the old legacy that was established, that was to be respected, and they think that that's still the same thing as of now. When they see a SaNeter, oh, SaNeter been doing this, such and such, SaNeter, and you're still going to have people bigging them up. So they're going to come in thinking that this is the depot for information, but they're going to be, sadly, they don't even care. Right now, it's all about entertainment. Many people don't even care. Yeah,
exactly.
Don't even care no more. But I wanted to get back to the point. When I seen the interview with Brother Polite and his 2 wives on Jesse, I forget the guy's name. His name is Jesse something. He's very rude guy. He's a preacher. And and basically, when I heard Aminette say that, when he asked Polite how did he meet his second wife, I forget her name, the other wife, and basically Polite explained how Aminette actually helped bring the second wife into the fold, and the evidence showed that she was like 19. Rayat. I say all that to say, when I
at the time, no, hold on real quick. No, she wasn't 19.
Not
I think she was 16.
Oh, yeah, she was young. Okay, got you.
I think she was like 16. No, literally like 6. He was either 15 or 16.
Wow, yes. I didn't know that. So
yes, that's a fact. We're gonna pull the quote. We're gonna get that.
I got you. I want you to stay right there with me. So when I seen that interview, it took me back when they were in Baltimore, and I was like, yeah, she was really like the overseer, you know what I mean? And then when they went to LA, you started seeing all of these different faces, they would be like revolving doors. And I'm saying to myself, I seen the interview and I'm like, is she in cahoots in grooming these women to accept the unacceptable?
Oh, that's a fact. That part is a fact.
So that's what I was saying. Is she a part of the, would you say, in your opinion, this is only opinion, this is not accusing anybody of anything, this is only opinion from experience and from eyewitness accounts. Would you say that she was intricate in a part of the grooming process of some of these women? Because it became a revolving door of women.
All of them. All of them. Because the how the structure of the family was, according to Polite, what he said was, Aminette is the queen wife. That means she's the number one, numero uno. You know, she's day one. And then, so the rest had to come through Aminette. It's a fact. That's just a fact. You know, and then it got to a point where I think that Aminette didn't have any more control because or options, because it's like when the college thing happened, you know, it was a free for all. You know, it was like you know, I'm a party like a rock star, and then all the women, you can see the videos. You know what I'm saying? So, but I was telling, but these were discussions that we was having years ago, that we knew what would happen. That's why I'm so, I hold firm to this Quran, because I was telling it, like, look, it's giving this guidance on these particular things, and it's going to lead you into a very bad place, and it happened. But it was already happening. And the people, we have, listen, how many more times are we going to have this happen in the community? How many more? Especially with the so-called house of consciousness, because it only produces wickedness and devils and inmates.
That's what I want to tell you, brother. Bro, do you have something else running? Because somebody saying we got some feedback. Am I feeding back on your side?
Are you good now?
Check. Yeah, I'm good. So brother, let's go back, bro. I wanna give a shout out to Natural Tahuti. You know, his daughter had reached out to me one time, but then everything stopped. I definitely want to see how we could actually help, maybe even do something on the show, you know, to help support the brother. I don't care if it's to get him some debbies to make his day a little bit easier. So I definitely want to get back on that. But nevertheless, have you spoken to or been in contact with anybody who has been in contact with Natural Tahuti? Before I get to my next,
I haven't for a while, man. I think the last time I was on your program before, or the time before last, I sent him the brother a letter, and I never got a response. And I should have followed up again. And I guess I'll get back to, you know, doing that, because when we was doing the show, I was actually thinking about the brother. But that's what I'm saying. That's what it produced, because I don't care who you name from SaNeter, House of Consciousness, the people that were, I'm going the path of SaNeter, those people are destroyed. Just like the Quran say about the devil. So look, Tahuti, that was SaNeter. I mean, like that.
And Natural Tahuti was talking about doing House of Consciousness West Coast.
Yeah, he actually did. He actually did do House of Consciousness West. He actually did, which was a whole nother thing. But nonetheless, I watched them, their so-called homie, their so-called boy, and Polite. With SaNeter had the money, Polite had the money, and me and Tahuti was having discussions, and we'll get in contact with him. He'll be able to bear witness to this, but we have the records anyway. But we discussing, having talks, we all was talking to each other. You know, it was a circle. We was the ones that was debating, talking, you know, on the phones regular. So Tahuti called me, and he said, you know, he was having financial problems. And he said, you know, Polite don't want to have a debate with me like out here in Cali, so I could try to get some bread too, you know. And then he said, well, Bashir, will you know, can we set up something? And I said, of course, bro, I would do it. One, I would love to debate this subject, and I think it was the patriarch mother, the matriarch mother, or something like that, you know. But I said, of course. But shortly after that, the brother was arrested. But the brother, and I'm not he had responsibility, and accountability. But the brother was literally reaching out like, listen, I'm struggling. I need some help. You ain't got to do much for me. Just give me a show. You know what I mean? Just give me a debate or something. And I can feed myself, you know, and get back on my feet, whatever. Polite didn't do that, didn't want to do that. Because they wicked. SaNeter didn't want to do that. Because he wicked. Yes, I'm sure he'll say, oh, when Tahuti got locked up, I sent him $100 for commissary. You know what I mean? Yeah, he'll do that. But you ain't get the boy the $100 when he was on the street so he can feed himself and the family. And that's why he was trying to do House of Consciousness West, trying to build something else for himself. Now the man doing what, 40 years? Something like that. Then you got this fool Polite. Now he about to do what, 7 years? Then you have this fool so-called Dr. Reggie, who can openly be destroyed and proven wrong on his positions on whatever it is all the time. But he remains a doctor because he got some computer degree in Flintstone times. But nevertheless, these people are just manipulators. King Simon, more just money. I was just promoting Polite. You're like Inky, another damn liar when it comes to Polite. It's just a fact. And
Inky too?
Inky. Now, I didn't go too hard on Inky at first, but as I, I'm talking before this time, this hindsight 2020, this some years ago. I was like, well, Inky, you was with Polite whole time. And I'm talking about with the first wife, daughter that ran away. See, we knew that before it got on the air. That vibe was already going with SaNeter between the circle. So we already hearing about that girl, father, pulling up at the store and Polite was in there. And, we were crying, that's what SaNeter said. Polite was crying. But my point is that we already seen what was happening with Polite, man. It was always a scam. King Simon was behind that too, for the money. Yes, he did promote it. Yes, that's what he was doing. But he also was covering for the foolishness of that Polite was doing.
So he was,
because once again, he's
King Simon. You're saying that King Simon was fully aware of the intent behind the misinformation, disinformation that was attracting the people to get the finances out of them and keep it pushing.
It's a fact. It's a fact. It's a fact. In fact, some years ago, I talked to King Simon. I said, Simon, every event that you do like Dr. Blair, Phil Valentine. He did those type of things. And then Polite. To such a degree where we started to see at one point the producer with a New Covenant shirt on. We're like, hold up, King Simon. I thought you was just a producer. But now you got the whole unified outfit on. And no, you got to sync with that Titanic, bro. You syncing with that Titanic. All of the main group, they have to sync because they all stand together in wickedness. And believe you me, they are going to dig Polite out of jail mentally and make it to where he didn't do it. It was a conspiracy. He tried to buy Tubi. That's what they're going to be trying to do. That's what they did with Dr. York. SaNeter did that with Dr. York. It was Dr. York was guilty from SaNeter mouth to, I don't know. No, he wasn't. It really wasn't that. Nah, it was something else about the, crossing the state lines. It was, then you play the video of that. We like, bro, we can go to YouTube and play the video of Dr. York confessing and what he's confessing to. But just like what Polite did in that courthouse, this is what that's the #1 play they got, is deflection and divide and conquer for their own benefit. So Polite took you from mathematics and school is hell and all of that talk to CCC, SUP, LMNOG to get that talk. And then he ends up saying, you know what, the hell with all of that. Somehow he ends up being a creditor. Somehow at the end of the spectrum, he ends up being a creditor. Like, where the hell did that come from? And not to say, excuse my language, not to say.
You 1000% right, bro.
You know, like seriously, you know, so it's like the flim flam was in the whole time, and the whole new covenant thing. We seen that trash from the beginning. Like, okay, this new covenant thing, it has some rotation, but if you was in a circle, maybe 6 months after they started making t-shirts with that new covenant thing, as quick as it went up, it fell. And
bro,
being a real
bro, it was a guy. I can still hear the background. It was a guy, right? But let's see if you get the background. Check.
Do I need a headphone?
Yeah. You got headphones?
Not.
I'll mute you.
Yeah,
that's all right. I'm gonna mute you. So look. So back again to Baltimore. So the lecture's in Baltimore, and then he has it's Aminette. It's the girl, the sister that supposed that broke her arm. I forget her name, Valentina, whatever her name is. The lights, one of the new wives. She's gone now. And it was a brother. He might be watching right now. He was from Jersey, good brother, you know, swole brother, you know what I mean. And so me and the brother got to talking, you know, I was like, brother, where you from? He's like, from Jersey. I just came down from Jersey. So, you know, they had come from supposedly California. So he came from Jersey. But later on, when you know, Polite had tried to take advantage of somebody for like $3,000 in Baltimore, ultimately the brother reached out to me on social media. And I was like, man, I was glad to hear from him, you know. But after that time, you know, New Covenant, like you said, it came and went. And he was wearing the New Covenant shirt. And I said, man, how did you meet Polite? Because I did an expose on Polite. I said, how you meet Polite? He said he met Polite through one of the social media platforms. And Polite said, come on, I'm doing an election in Baltimore. Come on down. When he came down, he threw him a shirt for New Covenant, and he was New Covenant and being the bodyguard. So it made me wonder, like, is that how New Covenant was happening? Just passing out shirts? And because it appeared on camera that they were fit, ready to go, and organized. And now I got another story that I'm trying to bring to the channel where a brother from the Bahamas took Polite to the Bahamas, and he took advantage of the people in the Bahamas. But this New Covenant thing was he was going to make this guy the Grand Sepulchres, or whatever the terminology was, as like some king. But my point is, were you there when it went from the African garbs, if you will, to the baseball cap and jacket, to the New Covenant polo shirt? Were you there? 1 second, let me unmute you. Was you there at that time? Did you see that transition?
Yes, absolutely there.
How did that happen?
Whole time. I don't know. It was like we blinked our eyes and they had uniforms. And it was like, where is this coming from? But here's the thing about it. So this was another video that was actually cut. And I'll bring the receipts next time. Another video that was cut up. I'm out there 125th. Polite has his 2 New Covenant security guys. But the thing, and that's one thing I like about you, you're trained to go. Like you, if you're gonna go, you're going. I'm the same way. I think Muslims kind of have that in us. You know, like, listen, brother, we will go on you if we gotta go on you. You know what I'm saying? So, but my point is this. Polite was out there And he was making, I mean, such a debauchery of himself with his wives and his 2 security. And it was so bad, like insulting and playing around me when I was, you know, we being professional doing, I mean, he just was being goofy. I don't know if he was high that night or whatever. But I was going to smack his head off his shoulders. Like, seriously, what he was doing. I mean, he was playing behind my back, you know. Oh, I mean, I was like, I'm about to smack your head across this daggone street, bro. Like, for real. Then the security was there, and I told the security, because I'm not insulting them, but they was in another weight class than I am. You know what I'm saying? And it was like featherweight. So I was like, y'all better move this out of my way. But Shaka Akmos came, calmed everything down, and we got the battle back. And that's where going to see Shaka Akmos and me going in, because he was like, but like you acting like a fool, you know. And Bashir literally smashed you. We get Shaka on this show. Shaka will tell you. He'll tell you. I say polite. He say polite from me, not from physical, but well, that too. But I was gonna slack his head the way he was playing with me. He was really being goofy. But anyway, nonetheless, Shaka came and, you know, saved that moment for him. But when he said that, he a little later, polite claimed that him and his wife and daughter was beat by the police. And I think this was like 2017.
In LA?
In California.
Yep, yep.
At the time, I'm also in California. Not related to that incident, but I was there before that incident happened, and the incident happened. So I said, so I got a call, and then the call was, hey, this happened to the polite and wives. And even though I'm like, he's a moron, I'm still going to represent my people and support anything that comes into our, you know, our community to bring harm like that, you know. So we're going to ride. I'm going to go find out what's happening. So we went there, and the first thing I had discovered was, I said, I think I seen like one New Covenant shirt. And I was like, where is New Covenant at? I couldn't believe there was no New Covenant there. Like one person, I think the rapper King Los was there. And then Malik Zulu Shabazz was there doing the interview. But then it was like, I want to go inside, and I have the footage of this. It was like, I want to go inside the precinct. We're going to go inside the precinct and file the report. But guess who led them? By a law, this is true. Guess who led them in the precinct?
Who that?
Briother Bashir. Because I mean, I was like, because I guess he didn't have New Covenant, so he was kind of timid on going inside. And I'm like, yo, let's go. So why does that matter? Because this is a person that's claiming to be a leader and can guide people to something good. But the reality is like, this boy's character is really a coward. He's really a coward on so many different levels, but he just wants to deceive the people, because even that ended up being a deception. Even that. They were never assaulted by the police. But yet he made us believe this, and he put out a call, and some of us came out.
He had the sister Victoria, that's her name, Victoria. He had Victoria's in an arm brace as if she was assaulted. But you know what though, Bashir? At 1 minute she had the arm brace on outside, but then they did a live stream a few days later. The arm brace was on the wrong arm. It was that bad, bro.
Hey, brother, real quick, because I know we gotta get out of here.
Go ahead, brother. Go ahead. Take it away.
Listen, Napal Shaddai. That's a new one. That's in House of Consciousness, because I haven't been a House of Consciousness in some years. You know, I think I appeared a couple of times, but Napal Shaddai, wicked.
Yes,
another wicked one. wicked beyond wicked. And I don't want to even go in too much because it's not personal. It's just real. This sister has been lost her everlasting mind. She's supposed to be a Hebrew sister, but and I used to speak with her because she used to date Solomon, and they were going to get married, and I was going to be the one that married them.
Uh-oh, there we go. I did not know that.
Yeah, yes,
Shout out
sir.
to Solomon. That's my bro.
Yes, sir. I was the one that was officiating that and giving the, the mediator and the, all that good stuff with them on the phone, good times, bad times, And she was a Hebrew. I'm a Hebrew Israelite. Then all of a sudden she got with SaNeter. Long story short. And you already broke down those details. We could go in that another day. So she ended up with SaNeter. And when she first went there, she still asked for my advice because her and Solomon decided that they couldn't, reconcile. So it is what it is. So she calls me and she says, all right, I'm going on SaNeter show. Do you have any advice for me? Because I've been on that show. I said, well, if you're a Hebrew or a woman of God, you should keep that integrity. So I said, you follow the Bible and that's your thing? I said, well, follow your book, follow your scripture, and, you'd be all right. Make sure you cover yourself and do all of that. But she totally does the opposite, totally rides the bandwagon, totally knows that this so-called husband of hers, which anybody could just be called a wife and a husband nowadays. It's crazy. I thought you had to have some type of ritual or some type of understanding, some type of witnesses that you actually did this, that y'all are actually matrimony. I thought you needed those things, but I guess that's religious. Yeah, that devil. So SaNeter, we know, is a devil. Don't have a square other than money and covering child molesters, covering crime, covering lies, blatant lies, and stealing from the people. So they done stole money from the people. They done stole the daggone people mind by being manipulators of all information. I don't care if it's from Moors, if it's from church, the Israelites, whatever it's from, manipulated to such a degree where we all know that Polite can go to GMS and say, you guys talk about you can have 12-year-old girls and sleep with underage girls, and we're going to stand against that. It's only hype. It's only that political jargon that we see our politicians do. No. This not right, this not right. And then you find out Bill Clinton is actually getting fellatio. You find out that actually happens. It's true. Same thing with these guys. They knew darn well that their actions were wicked and devilish. They knew it. Shaka was intelligent from detaching himself from that. Shaka did not get himself involved in that mess and never did. Never did. I promise you, never did. So I could give that man his I guess they say flowers for that. But King Simon, brother, so they ain't none of them my brother. Reggie, SaNeter, Nepal, who else I have? Oh, and I'm gonna have to, Inky. And the thing that's crazy is that Inky was beefing with SaNeter and they still have this beef and they go back and forth for years. They've been doing that. But I see him back on SaNeter program, being real friendly. And I said to myself, both of y'all was accusing each other of knowing that this guy was a rapist. Excuse me, a child molester or, sexual deviant. Can we say that? Sexual deviant? Because I don't want him to come home from jail and try to sue me. But I wish he would try to sue any of us. We gonna get a law. He gonna get a lawsuit. Come out of jail trying to sue us.
He
But
might not
anyway,
make it out.
yeah, exactly. Like he probably will because he gonna be, he know how to deflect. That's what they do. Put me in this PC over here. He'll find a way to get transferred to another PC. He'll find a way, you know. But anyway, my brother. What is so we can get up out of here? It's getting late. All right, so it's just a couple more things that I wanted to go over statistically that I thought was very interesting, right? And I thought it was interesting that 57.6% of Black children and 31.2% of Hispanic children and 20.7% of white children are living absent with their biological father. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because we used to have conversation. I don't want us to think this is ideological or attack on a status of a woman, because it's not. This is not that talk today. But when we are teaching the people, the Black family structure was important. The actual family structure that we have was an important thing to educate people, wanting to talk to the people about. And I will always want to have these logical conversations and logical debates on practical things that we actually deal with in our society on a regular basis. But what they wanted was to feed us BET with so-called knowledge. That's what they wanted to do. They gave us BET, and BET has some pretty good shows. They have some pretty good shows. Not all of them are ratchet, but they cloaked information and totally robbed you of the opportunity to have better options. So now we have more people that's going to go the route that Polite is going. That's a fact. Inside that so-called conscious community, because it doesn't exist. It's a lie. The people that is there supporting it, they do not care about no knowledge. They don't care about their wives or their children. Majority of them. That's a fact. Majority of them don't have wives and children. That's another fact. So
isn't it? When I seen it appeared that SaNeter ditched Cynthia for Nepal, I knew he had lost his mind.
Yeah,
I knew he lost his mind.
Mm-hmm.
Even though she tried to get you into the contract thing and all of that.
Oh, we cool. No, we cool.
But I will say that I remember when I went to New York to address SaNeter for inviting me to his private parts on live, because he's just that type of weird. But nevertheless, she was instrumental, because I walked straight through the line. I wasn't paying at your little event, none of that. I walked straight through the line. But she was very instrumental in can you and my husband try to work this out? And she was just really, really genuine, and every time I seen her, and I tried to hope for the best and support that this could been a real thing. The last thing that I went to was the SaNeter TV Awards. And I watched him give all of his friends, like Roy Bay, an award. When Roy Bay came to SaNeter TV, he didn't know nothing about Moorish. He had a Bay on his name, but he was a Nuapo. He knew nothing about Prophet Noble Drew Ali. That was another one of my motivations. I'm like, this guy, he's talking and he's name dropping Noble Drew Ali because of the Bay. And they're pushing him. Like you said, they was trying to push you into a certain direction. So you can tell somebody was trying to push Roy Bay as a Moorish American. Ultimately, he would join the temple. So they must have really put some gas or battery in his back. He joined the temple in Brooklyn, then left that temple and then joined another one. And then he joined a crazy, weird splinter groups that going to sell you paperwork for $1,000. And now to this day, he's still acting as if he is certified in Moorish science. But I remember he didn't even own a fez. When the Moors had a debate with what was it, Reggie and Sharif, and we were there, the brother had to take a fez, an extra fez out of his bag, say, brother, you can't be in here with a bay on your name without a fez, and actually give him a fez. That's where he got his first fez at that debate, bro. So they were actually manufacturing, even, it's many people out here right now, even in Baltimore, with bays and L's on their name. They don't know what it means. So when Roy Bay would come there, he didn't know an ounce of that. And so I bring that up because it just sounds so true how they was manufacturing these identities and try to remanufacture you and then sell it back. Bro, let me make sure you got everything off your list, because I got a few more questions before we roll. Anything else you want to touch on?
Wait, let me just see. All right, let me just no, I'll wait. You know what? These couple of things, if I'm given a chance to conclude, I'll just add that.
Okay. So look, what I wanted to add was this. Do you in your humble, let me cut the mic because it's bleeding a little bit. Do you in your humble opinion believe that at one time SaNeter had any good intentions? Now, that's a hard one to answer. Let me first say, because you did say he started off bootlegging, jacklegging DVDs. But do you think that at some point there was any good intentions behind the SaNeter HOK concept? Because even I remember the picture, you're in one of the first pictures where he's standing up like this. Lord Abba, you, everybody's there, and and that picture is cryptic. Like, look what I'm creating. So, do you think that there was any good intentions in that, or was it always a comic book in the making? Because when you look at it now, it does look like characters. It really do, And let me give you a tidbit on this. When I decided that I was going to come and speak on Moorish, I'm known in the temple as Johnson Bay. You know how Moors do. I'm known in the temple as Johnson Bay. And a sister had told me one time, she had said, you look like a pharaoh. You look like the pharaoh Tahaka. And then that's how I took that name on. I don't know. She might have got a picture of Tahaka. I probably don't look nothing like Tahaka, but that's why I got the name. And I say, well, I'm not going to use, I had a business. You know what I'm saying? I knew I was going to go hard because they was disrespecting the Prophet Noble Ali and everything. I knew I was going to go hard. And I say, well, I'm going to use what the sister called me. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to use Tahaka Bay. That way, when I go hard and they Google me, my customers won't know. I mean, they're going to Google Toronto Johnson Bay, but they won't be, if they Google Tahaka Bay come up, you know what I mean? I can get away with it for a minute because I knew I was going to go hard. But I also looked at it like it was, they was playing characters. And in order to get in there to address it, I also had to cloak my true self into this person that they would think would be one of them. You understand what I'm trying to say? And so that's why if you go back and see, you really can detect it. I was like, nah, this is crazy. The Prophet never said this. And every time they start talking, I start yelling. I overtalk them real fast. I wasn't even kicking no knowledge. I would just overtalk them. I mean, every time you give me on the show, because I knew it was a game. But in the beginning, to my question, bro, was it always set up that way to be comic book fresh? Do you think from the time that picture hit?
In my humble opinion, the moment SaNeter, I think when he was with Khalid Muhammad, he had to be real then. I think that energy had to be real with Khalid Muhammad, but I didn't see him there.
That's what I was about to say. Has anybody ever witnessed him with Khalid Muhammad? Because there is words that not actually with Khalid Muhammad. He has a few pictures with Khalid Muhammad, like with photo ops all the time. SaNeter being polite with the Hollywood and got many a photo ops with people and claiming that they his friends, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But the word, and I'm gonna tell you what, I talked to SaNeter. It's that picture with him, Dr. Khalid Muhammad, and the founder of the new Black Panther Party. I can't think of his name off the top. And when I first found the picture, I asked SaNeter, I said, bro, where was this at? I said, that picture you got with Khalid? He said, I don't think I got any pictures with Dr. Khalid. I said, no, I got your name on there. And what's his name? I forgot. Doctor or something. He was a doctor then. Doctor, I forget the name. He had a doctor. But the other guy was there. I said, have you ever met such and such? He's going to be on my show. Yeah, Aaron Michaels. I said, Aaron Michaels going to be on my show. He's like, who is Aaron Michaels? Bro, he said he didn't even, bro, I got the conversation recorded. He was like, who's Aaron Michaels? Aaron Michaels is the founder of the new Black Panther Party. Before Khalid, before Malik, he is the original founder. And he's in a picture with Aaron Michaels, Dr. Khalid, and himself. You know what I'm saying? He said he didn't remember the picture, nor did he know Aaron Michaels. I was like, bro, that's crazy. That's crazy. So there is a chance that he was a member of the chapter, but he probably was not associated closely with Dr. Khalid, bro. That's the fact of the matter. And he's used in Dr. Khalid as a crutch. You understand what I'm saying? And the only reason he would be in the Black Panther in the Harlem branch, which he does have picture with uniform on, would because he was in the Nation of Islam. And the next thing from Brothers from the Nation, they would follow Dr. Khalid because he was so inspirational, and they would join the Black Panther Party. However, that doesn't mean everybody was elbow to elbow with Dr. Khalid. And I don't even believe he was elbow to elbow with Dr. Khalid, because the way that he conducts himself, it shows that he has no discipline of a FOI, nor do he have a discipline of a militant. He's just talking crazy, talking loud for attention. So I don't believe none of that to be true at all. But back to my point, brother. Was this a costume dress up from day one and try to manufacture people to the people to bring the goods back?
Brother, with that information you just put in there, it has to be. Because what I was going to say was, I don't know. You just gave the history, and I trust your word. And the reason why I trust your word is because you've always stood on your word. That you give people the benefit of the doubt that stand on their word and don't show you that they are hypocrites. They're flim-flamming back and forth, So I was going to say, once he started selling stuff under Black consciousness, no way. There's no way, because the way you did it. So if you're going to take DVDs and not even say, Brother Taharka, you made Moorish World whatever DVDs. I want to buy 100 of them for X amount of price, and then I'm going to sell them for this amount, That's keeping the black dollar moving. That's keeping business going. But no, we're Black power, so we're not going to take the Hollywood movies and bootleg those. No, you're going to bootleg the teachers that have been putting our work out here forever. And I had a big problem, because I'm like, I'm so glad and happy I'm part of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community. I don't know any other communities because I'm not a part of them. But I was like, your teacher, like one of them, Dr. Ben, I was there. I believe I truly love Dr. Ben more than these Negroes.
Come on, man.
I was there and can have the proof that, I met the man, I spoke to the man, had conversations with him, went to his funeral. But I said, it's pretty weird that y'all do all these lectures and get this money and do this and do that, but you can't even properly bury your teacher that you done said his name 1,000,000 times. You done sold his information, but none of you could collectively come together and create a situation where you could do for yourself. I'm talking about these, forget the religious folks, people. Forget their culture, the Arab stuff, all of that. When you got to bury your people in the church. You
brother,
have to
let me say this, brother. One of the most saddest times that I seen on HOK is when Dr. Ben was in the nursing home on his final days, and SaNeter jumped on the opportunity to go get footage as Dr. Ben was on the decline and tried to interview Dr. Ben as he was on the decline. You know what I mean? It was very crazy to me to see that. Um, it was very crazy to see that because Dr. Ben, he just deserves so much more. And I was saying to myself as I was watching that, like, wow, this is not good. This is not good. He's on a decline. He's departing the flesh, and you can see it. And they trying to underscore that they're so conscious, that they're so black power, that they're so with those leaders that they want to say, I got a relationship. Look, I got him on film, but it was in the decline of his age, of his life. And it just looked so sad and pathetic. And it looked thirsty on their part. I just thought it was a bad look, bro. And then when the funeral came, as you said, it didn't reflect anything that the master teacher actually was teaching in what they were selling either. Sad.
Yeah, and it's like at the end of the day, the Moors, the Christians, the Israelites, those that have a so-called way of life or religion, let's not play semantics. But the creator is there, you got a prophet there, whether we agree or not. Those groups are generally sincere or actually make a movement. The Hotepers and with black powers people and that SaNeter realm are not real, never going to be real, don't want to be. And that's the sad part, because SaNeter is the who created Frankenstein? What was his name?
I forget the guy name, but I was just talking about that a few weeks ago. Yeah.
Guy that created Frankenstein. Polite would be the Frankenstein. SaNeter really pushed Polite and gave him that thing. And then he seen that Polite can draw. And so it was like, okay, because SaNeter does play good chess. But he manipulated the entire thing, not to satisfy the people, period. So it's like, look, SaNeter, Napa, Brother Reggie, of course, Poor Light. Who else am I missing? I'm going to say Inky. I'm going to say Simon. All of them. Even Tazaria and them. Playing over there after all of this is not a good look. And the reason why is because, like the scriptures say, our people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge. And we like, well, if we get there, we're going to quit the knowledge and we're going to do this. No, because it's the devil's house. And the devil's going to make you play by his rules. And his rule is hellfire got to outdo the paradise. That's what the Shaitan think. He think,
brother, I got to chime in right there, because one of the things that was my goal is if I can stand on 125th and I can get loud and take a little bit thunder, I'm going to build Moorish World TV, because I never wanted to go to 125th and to debate anybody. because I seen what was happening to you. But I think I told you privately that we would see a live stream, and then you go look for the live stream is down. The debate was fully live, and then it'd be down for 2 hours. And then when you come back, all of the key points that you were making was I was like, what the world? Like, for real, this is literally how it would happen. The live stream would go live, and maybe he would put it on unlisted or private, and then he would edit it down in YouTube and for like 2 hours or 3 hours, and you come back like, what happened? I just watched this thing. You know what I'm saying? And so at the end of the day, I was like, I wanted to create something where as though if I debate, it's going to be my entity or our entity, as I say, the people's channel against you, against them. You know what I'm saying? And so that was one of my goals. One of my goals was not to go there in debates, because I watched Brother Sharif. Brother Sharif be sitting up there, he be talking all intelligent, and he's real calm. He seafood strong, you know, because he got the martial arts thing, so he's very calm, and they just ganging up. I'm like, nah, I ain't gonna be able to do that part. And so that's what I want to do. But to that point, bro, as we get into the fall season, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be traveling, I'm going to be setting up, and we are going to have presenters such as yourself to bring the knowledge back. In other words, you're in Philly now. It will be nothing for me to take a trip to Philly. We sit down wherever it's at, set up the cameras, get all your information together, and bring it to the people. And everybody knows me. I don't have a problem with anybody's belief. Just make sure that it is sound for you and makes sense for you, because if it makes sense for you, then hopefully it can make sense for somebody else. And anybody on Moorish World TV, you already know I don't proselytize telling you to put a fez on your head, proclaim your nationality. I don't do none of that. What I say is we need to all critically think, and we will find where we need to be. But Bashir, do you have any more notes, bro, that you want to cover real quick?
Yes, sir. But first, I wanted to say, see, the devil is wicked, boy. That devil was a wicked. It's something else, because we got a real devil, the battle, a bigger one. Flesh. I'm talking flesh, and the ones inside of us. It's metaphorical. But listen, these same people, like, oh, I got land. I'm gonna give 100. We're gonna get 100 acres of land. Come on, y'all. He's on record saying this. I was there when he was with Ron Artest. World Peace, he changed his name to, right? We're gonna get the 100 acres of land. Then he said, well, I got this psychologist, psychiatric type situation going on. This was supposed to be in Nevada. No. We got this project, what was it? Ohio somewhere. We got these containers, we're building houses. It's black. Yeah, come get down with me in the real estate investment. Come on. So, and people sending money. People sending money. They sending money for all of these different things. Chicago, open a bookstore, grand opening Monday, grand closing like Thursday, literally, like 3 days. The devil, Brother Taharka, the Grand Sheik, buys a building, fix the building, and these devils want to say something against the brother getting space for what he believes. Like, that's what you supposed to do. That's what we supposed to do. That's what men supposed to do. So we have, and that's the thing. Men don't roll like that. Men do not expose a woman to other men unless he pimping. Men do not expose their daughters to the world in an undignified manner unless he pimping. Men do not just talk and don't create and literally build and make space for their people or their family or build a home or whatever it is. Men have integrity and know that they are nation builders, no matter how minute of a level it may be. So it's like, family, I don't know what the problem is, but if we continue the path that these Negroes, and I hope that they reform their ways, because we can, as long as you're breathing, you can have a chance to reform and reconcile. So maybe that will happen. But I'm sure they love the fire. I'm sure, excuse me, my phone wrong. I'm sure they enjoying that hellfire bath that they are in. But I wanna thank the men out there that know how to protect their women, their children, their babies. And I want to thank the women that will never expose themselves and put themselves in a position where their children are susceptible for being taken advantage of. And if you are doing anything, if we are doing anything that relates to American culture, from the sense of how we socialize, how we party, what is a person that's a teacher, or he was never a teacher, he was only doing that to get the support. He was worse than the Creflo Dollars. At least Creflo Dollar and them continue to go with it. They're gonna die with it. But he was like, I can use information, build myself up. But the reality is that whatever I could do to live in a Hollywood type situation, that's what I want to do. I want to fly and party and have fun. I don't want to be on the front lines like a Martin Luther King. Those Negroes not rich. They can't, have a Rolls Royce, But the consciousness where you could show 4 or 5 Rolls Royces, and the people that just follow that, oh yes, we can achieve this goal. I'm like, man, you have been bit. You still got the American pathology. We have this American pathology in our head. It's a sickness that says we have to try to go acquire, the things that really are not obtainable. Like the average millionaires don't even get Rolls Royces, for real. Like seriously, that's like a rapper thing that he's showing. That's like a Floyd Mayweather thing. But it all trickles to all of them. Busta Rhymes will co-sign a polite publicly, and I don't want Busta and them feeling no type of way, but it's just real talk. Even though you talk that 5% or Allahu Akbar or whatever, but they were just, okay, you made it up here to be right here. I'm just going to big you up. We're going to have to take it like that's the lifestyle that you like. Manipulating our women and putting them in harm's way, which trickle down to our children. So all you Negroes doing that, because it's the lifestyle. It's the lifestyle. Who going to Miami Beach? You know why you go to Miami Beach? You go there mostly to have fun, party, or to hustle. We have these cities, Sin City, Vegas. Why do you go to Vegas? You go to Vegas to do what? Gamble, watch some shows, but primarily gamble. So these locations that they're trying to show us under the guise that they have the people's best interest in mind, but they sending us to the places, to desire the places that's going to destroy our damn lives. It's ridiculous. And our children's lives. So instead of really educating ourselves and getting ourselves together as a people where we can literally start building something, you know darn well that man owes the people. The people supported SaNeter, the people supported Polite. I'm just going to go with Polite. They supported him many different ways, but he never provided the people with anything. And when he does, he goes the vegan man with all the money, go to the damn poor and then feed them $5 Little Caesar pizza. Like, this is who they say is the most intelligent guy, and he has it figured out. This is what these people that follow that little circle, this is what they're saying. Well, there's a whole lot that said different, like, yeah, he is scamming, yeah, he is no good, etc., etc. But anyway, I don't want to beat a dead horse. I want to conclude with the house of consciousness is not conscious. And if you have your babies or yourself really involved in that, expect hell to come to you. Expect your women to be violated, your children to be violated, you to be violated. Expect it. And don't say on Moorish World TV you wasn't warned. This brother talking about the Grand Sheik, he been warning y'all about this for years. I mean, over and over. Like, I've been here, a lot of people been here. So if you want to save yourself and your children, whatever you do, don't trust those Negroes over there at the House of Consciousness. I don't care how good they may sound. I don't care, because the reality is they don't have our family's best interest in mind, period. I do want to make a note of this, because a lot of people do have this perception of, no, we were from Africa and we need to be doing like this and doing like that. Listen, sis, the majority, 90% of rape victims in America is women. So at any time, a nation may go to war with another nation or community, like a physical, literal war. You know, we've been so protected. The women know they are prime, they're subjected to becoming booty. B-O-O-T-Y, the spoils of war. And that means somebody, a group of men, can destroy perhaps the group of men that are your protectors, and they will take you. Be aware that this is a reality. So our men needs to maintain a certain position, and our women need to understand their position in the family structure, and we need to work cohesively together. But we have to understand that, sisters, if you are exposing yourself and a man allowing you to expose yourself, your whole family is exposed. If you have a cut or something and you don't bandage it up and put the ointment on there, you just let it just stay open, an open wound, what's going to happen? It's going to get infected. And these drugs and alcohol, stuff like that, oh, for a teacher that like was supposed to be, or even myself, you should never see Brother Bashir up in the club drinking anything. Even if Brother Bashir liked to do that, I should not publicize that. You know why? Because that's death and destruction. Not, oh, no, liquor and it doesn't really affect. No, I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about, yeah, maybe you already sexual active, over sexual. You like these many women. How about a woman that likes so many men? But let's go back to the man. You like this woman, you got that woman, this woman here, woman there, woman there, woman there. But you partying. Now you partying. You the teacher, a conscious guy. Now you throwing back them drinks. It's the only thing you see is pretty faces, breasts, curves, and a gluteus maximus. That's all you see. So when that 13-year-old come by, oh yes, sir. When that 13-year-old come by, mixed with partying, lewdness, horniness, and drinking and some drugging, something's gonna fall in the wrong way. And if the women and the children are in the way, they're gonna be affected by it. And that's just the reality. And so understand that every 93 seconds, a woman is raped in America. That's under 2 minutes. That's under 2 minutes. I don't know how long we was on the show, like for real. So it's like, sisters, we gotta become more conscious. And I'm not saying you have to be a prisoner to clothes or your body, but we need to be more conscious, because the sister that made the impact statement, if she was not partying and drinking, maybe she would have been able to see that this lifestyle and behavior comes with a lot of consequences. A lot of consequences. And if we look at people like these so-called celebrities, these A-list celebrities like Floyd Mayweather, these people are not married and family oriented. These are not the example for the people. Yes, they're cool. We like what they do. You know, they are entertainers. That's what celebrities are. Celebrities are entertainers. The damn jester is not supposed to be running the kingdom. The jester is supposed to be on stage doing jester things. We gotta keep them on their square. They're jesters. Let them be the clowns. And then let your grand sheets and stuff put in the work and leave. How about we do some of that? So family, I hope that, you know, I appreciate y'all being here. I appreciate my brother having me here. Seriously, I'm trying to get my citizenship for real. I ain't trying to get deported, brother. I think you muted. You muted.
Yeah, what I need from you is when I start doing my series, bro, I want you coming teach us the deep particulars about the Ahmadiyya movement. And now you know how I like to do it. I like to start off with giving uh, uh, your history of how you entered into the community, and then break down the particulars. And I'm not talking about no debate. I'm talking about a true dialogue. That if one choose, because this what I see. I think that we need to, all of us need structure. Without structure, we fail. It is what it is, you know. And so at the end of the day, it may not be for everybody, but it may be for someone that could change their life forever. I know when I came into the Teachers of the Moorish Science Temple of America, there was nothing remotely close that could influence me like that. Not even my parents. You know what I mean? And I'm a mama's boy. 1,000. My mama go to the temple with me. She go to events. I'm 1,000. But nothing could influence my life like that. So if we are able to give the brothers that sincere a platform, the sisters that sincere a platform, it may help someone that we won't see ourselves, but long as it works, it works. Another thing is I'm thinking about seeing if we can bring the integrity back to debates. I would love to debate Shaka Atmos on a lot of information that he put out about Moorish. I think that would be a beautiful thing. I think that can bring people back together. I've met Shaka Atmos. I know people say a lot about Shaka Atmos. I didn't see that Shaka Atmos that people talk about. I actually seen the Shaka Atmos that you talked about tonight. After all the words that Shaka said about the Moors, he done about 4 or 5 presentations in HOK. But when I seen him, I just laughed and we laughed, and it's nothing. It's information. It's not that serious. You know what I mean? But I would love to try to work to bring back that integrity to being able to have brotherly, sisterly conversation without the theatrics, without the drama, just pure information. And be the will of Allah, I'm going to make that happen, because we need to have challenging, provoking thoughts in our community, in order to take us to the next level. Without challenging and provoking thoughts, we stay stuck and we stay behind, and we stay right in the place where these people have the ability to manipulate us, because we're not challenging ourselves. And the thing is, one thing that I do love, that I think that I bring to the table, is that Moorish World TV provides that space where anybody can come in, and they don't have to feel pressured about, I'm trying to get you to be a Moor, or someone trying to get you to be a Muslim, or someone trying to get you. No, I'm going to give you logic and perspective from my journey, and maybe you can use it in yours, but I'm never going to try to convince you to be anything that you don't want to be. And what I want everybody to be is better tomorrow than they are today, and be real critical thinkers, because if you ain't thinking critically, you're going to fall victim. You feel me? I see Judah in the building. He said, "Am I blocked in here?" No, Judah, you not blocked, brother. With that being said, brother, I'm gonna give you the floor and let you take us out. I'm gonna be reaching out to you, so when you get to your computer, we're gonna get to the receipts. That if you want to bring some receipts, and then we're gonna get to the teachings, and we're gonna start bringing the scholars back. Family, would y'all still stick around? Let me ask real quick before I let my brother take us out. We get into the drama, we get into the research, and I'm never gonna stop that. If I start bringing the scholars back, if I bring the scholars in once a week, once a month, or whatever, are y'all going to abandon ship because you don't want to learn? Or will you challenge yourself to learn something new? I need anybody who will support that. I want to diversify the channel. I need you to throw a 7 in there, because if you don't, if that ain't what you want, then what's the point in the first place? But we do need to bring that back. You know what I mean? I feel we need to bring that back. I feel we need to bring Black Girls Read talking about terror. You know what I mean? That she's very fluent in terror. You know what I'm saying? Brother Bashir, but y'all don't know, is he's a member of the Ahmadiyya movement, which is closely resembles the Moorish thought more than any other Islamic community, where people don't know. And some people don't know that there is communities. I don't like to say sex, because there is no sex in Islam. There is communities within Islam that are so many different ones, that many people think that they all the same, because they see somebody in a kufi or something, and just like back in the day, if one would say they're Muslim, they would think that you sell bean pies, that you was in NOI. Some people just did not know. And so I think it's always going to be refreshing for us to bring our learned brothers and sisters to a platform where we're not trying to browbeat you into believing what we believe or have faith or confidence in, but give you information. And if you want to use it, you take it and use it. And if you don't, you do like anything else. You do like the body do. You take out the good nutrients of information, and then you excrete that you don't need. Period, point blank. Let me yield the floor to my brother Bashir. Brother Bashir, we doing this real soon. The floor is yours, brother.
Man, I didn't want the floor back. I thought you should have closed it out, but I do have this thought that when so I just wanted to real quick, just let us understand the state of the people, right? Just real quick, family. I'm gonna get us out of here. But listen, I went to a funeral last week. Long story short, majority of it Christian, no problem. Which I knew. Now, here's the thing I wanted to get to us to understand. And so, inside the church, matter of fact, hold up, this her thing right here. What's that called? The obituary thing, right? But listen, so I mean, the church is full. It's full. and there was times where you could go and say some things, you know. So the preacher was doing his thing. I mean, he's doing his preacher thing, you know. And I'm gonna relate this to this is SaNeter and these devils. So I didn't want. I wanted to say something, but I didn't, and then I felt like I needed to because it was so much dead, no life up in there, and no truth. But I knew I had to be very strategic on how I word things, right? So I took my little time, and it's my eye. It's my eye, mind you. So I should be able to say some things about my eye. But she used to be a Muslim. She gave me my first Quran. She taught me some Islam. This was 25 years ago. And what she knew. I went to tell them some of her experiences on her search of God, you know. Then I had quoted 2 Corinthians, chapter 7, verse 14. If my people who are called by my name shall humble themselves and pray. That, right? Then I said, I want to read Al-Fatiha, for example, from the Quran, and correlate those two in retrospect to my eyes, like. And the pastor Bahabi, he's sitting down like I am, and I'm standing at the podium. And I mean, this guy he was like, no, don't say that about Islam. No, don't say that about Islam. Whoa. And then I said, wait. I looked at this guy like, first of all, this is my aunt. We about word in the ground. So you doing some preacher thing. I don't know what is he talking about. But then my other aunt, super Christianified, so she gave me that eye. So I was like, you know what? I don't have to, but I am. I'm just going to let everything go. And I just was speaking. I wasn't trying to convert nobody. I just was representing, I thought, the Bible well, and I thought I wanted to represent, some things what the Quran said, just Al-Fatiha. And I understood. I'm in the house of worship. But my point is that they were against it to such a degree that I really wanted to DDT the preacher. But it's due to their ignorance for information. Because majority of the people in that church were like drug addicts. Majority of them had issues that were friends from the block. Because you in Baltimore, you know how it is. The blocks know you. So the block all come to the funeral, Well, none of them are Christian. All of them are in cahoots together. But we have to watch those type of groupings, because if it doesn't mean us no good to really educate us, will we really understand what is going on, what is happening, and not just be frivolous with whatever we are. So we in the Bible, follow the Bible, man. Follow the commandments and the rules in there. If you have whatever you have that you say is your religion, stand on that. Whatever it is you say is your way of life, stand there first. That's the first step. You know what I'm saying? If I'm a Muslim, the Quran is my book. Stand on that Quran first and foremost. Understand the laws, understand what needs to be done, and then master that. Then you can move and adjust and do all of that. So I want us just to understand that consciousness is not going to relieve us of ignorance. In fact, not that type of consciousness, I want to say. True consciousness will alleviate ignorance. But that's not true consciousness at the House of Consciousness, given by SaNeter, Satan, Devil, that one, that side. Anyway, I'm done rambling. The pie, you wicked as hell. Hope you see it. Minister Inky, stop playing, bro. You wicked as hell too, because you knew it was going down. Y'all playing these games. I don't know. He said, she said, hide and go seek. Like, we're not playing those kids' games no more. We know what things are. We're gonna call it like it is. We're gonna see it how we want to see it. I appreciate y'all. And hopefully I ain't bore y'all to death. And hopefully
Nah, this was a good one, bro. This was a good one. This was a very good one. It's like, when we're passionate about something, sometimes we can go off course and it seems like we're rambling, but you painted a beautiful, beautiful picture. So family, I just want to say, family, I want to thank you. Assalamu alaikum. Salam alaikum. How we want to say it. And we're gonna go out with this, Bashir. What you know about this, Bashir?
Let me tell you what I know about this.
Check. You hear that?
No.
I created this with the help of my brothers and all these men and all the good people of the Lord.
Y'all some men
don't hear it.
You need to stop before someone catch you on the block and
Do they hear it in chat?
You at your lecture and rock your knocking. Yeah, man, and me, cause I'm exposed to your robbing. See, I used to be a robber. I was robbing the thugs and the agents in the hood selling nasty grub. I was only 17 and I didn't know better. Put the things in their face and said, give me the cheddar. But it really amazed me the age of 40 that people will use the things that would annoy me to rob our people like Bibles and Qurans. Take your money and then they're gone. Shoot, selling, plagiarize books and dreams of unity. Blame the European. But look what you do to me. Got me thinking we gon' overcome.
I said.
You really one of them. You gon' have to watch it back for the rest of your life. I know good and well you can't sleep at night. You done robbed everybody from the hood to the burbs. With your unks, your crystals, your books, your herbs. You convinced everybody that it's white supremacy. The fact of the matter is you're the real enemy. You've been lying to the people fat in your pockets. You ain't nothing but an internet prophet. You gon' have to watch it back for the rest of your life. I know good and well you can't sleep at night. You done robbed everybody from the hood to the birds. With your unks, your crystals, your books and herbs. Now they calling me the op cause I revealed the scam. They will shake your hand and still grip your fam. And say Hotep, peace, black power, shalom. Assalamu alaikum, praise the Lord in Islam. At the same time they plotting to get in your pocket. They will white label sunglasses, cups and watches. Make a profit for the enemy they talk about. I can't understand why you ain't been walking out. You ain't noticed since you met them, you slipping in life. On Twitter like the pipe and it just ain't right. Bank account got light and you haven't seen the light. You burn on the stage and ain't change your plight. Incense burning, crystals turning. Think to yourself, what you really learning? What you really saw? You gave him your all. He own a museum club in the internet mall. Selling deodorant and hurry up and buy. He don't really care if you're broke and you die. You just acting like you don't care either. This is pure evil. Have to watch it back for the rest of your life. I know good and well you can't sleep at night. You done robbed everybody from the hood to the burbs. With your unks, your crystals, your books, your herbs. You convinced everybody that it's white supremacy. The fact of the matter is you're the real enemy. You've been lying to the people fat in your pocket. You ain't nothing but an internet prophet. You gonna have to watch it back for the rest of your life. I know good and well you can't sleep at night. You done robbed everybody from the hood to the birds. With your unks, your crystals, your books and herbs. You gonna have to watch it back for the rest of your life. I know good and well you can't sleep at night. You done robbed everybody from the hood to the burbs. With your unks, your crystals, your books, your herbs. You convinced everybody that it's white supremacy. The fact of the matter is you're the real enemy. You've been lying to the people fat in your pockets. You ain't nothing but an internet prophet. Family, I want to thank y'all for joining me tonight. I want to thank my guest, Brother Bashir, Imam Bashir. Family, we're going to see more of Imam Bashir, and we're going to see more scholars here. We're about to turn up on this fall season. And let me tell you, that does not stop the research. We're going to continue to research and tear these grifters to pieces. Inshallah. Peace and love, family. Peace and love.